Welcome back to Crossroads Live. My name is Jim Hoffmeyer, and I'm sitting here with Scott Mendes. How you doing, my friend?
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about before. You did some rodeo riding, didn't you, back in the day?
Yes, sir. Pretty much most of my life. I retired in 2005 from competitive bull riding. I started at the age of 6 at a Brandon Fire in California, so everything in between, minus a couple injuries, was full-time competition.
Well, we had a fellow on the show one time, Dan Roberts. Dan Roberts, you know Dan?
Yeah, I think the singer.
The singer.
Yes, sir.
He told me, he said when he was going to college, he said he started out like this. He said, well, I rode a lot. Let me correct that. I got on a lot of bulls, in the rodeo, so. I think his stuff was college rodeo. So, but anyway, so you did rodeo. How far did you get in the rodeo business?
Well, I was pretty successful in high school. Once I figured out that bull riding is what I wanted to do, I wasn't able to play football in high school because I worked with my dad on the ranch in Reno. I was born in California, but we eventually moved to Reno, Nevada, my junior high and high school years where I competed. I was successful, state champion. I went to college for a day and kind of worked out with the rodeo coach and got a feel for what that would be like. But I felt in my heart that I really wanted to get to the national finals in Las Vegas. So I didn't go to college and went right into competing and showed up at the finals at a young age and just kind of kept striving to be successful there. And I was really blessed in '97 to actually win a world title, and it's been a blessing.
Wow. Congratulations, man. Coming from me, it's a little late, but congratulations. Anybody can achieve that, because we had Roy Cooper on the show. I know you know Roy Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
Super
Looper. Great guy.
Yeah, right. 8-time world champion roper. So, and I got to tell you, I'm not a real rodeo cowboy. I just played one in the movies, so.
Man, that's okay though. I mean, it's amazing how the whole, the Western industry ties together, the camaraderie between traveling and competing and the clothes that we wear and the movies that we watch. It's a small and a close-knit family. The guys that are singing, like Dan Roberts and others, we're one big happy family. And I think what kind of connects us all is the core value of the lifestyles that we lead in the Western world.
Now, you are in a ministry?
Correct, yeah. In 2003, we founded and incorporated under Western Harvest Ministries. And I've been doing training camps. I conduct bull riding schools. We even formed a Christian bull riding league where we have a concert, a speaker, and a bull riding format to evangelize and to reach out to the city while also working with the young guys and helping them with character issues and self-esteem and just making right choices in life. So it's a unique ministry, but it's been a blessing to see how that's all coming together.
It has an effect on the young people,
Well, and one of the reasons I'm probably sitting here on this show with you today is last year my wife and I and some good friends that you're going to meet in a moment, we really decided that in order to reach these young people, not only in the profession of rodeo and the Western lifestyle, that media is really where it's at. So a year ago we formed Western Harvest Media, and we've already co-produced some films. We're working on some big-time scripts now and some movies coming out this year that are really going to help us to reach a larger number of people. Obviously, if we get to a theatrical release, that's going to be a blessing. But we're not just waiting for that. We're making things happen.
Make it happen now.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. And are you able to get the backing? Because I know I co-produced 2 films, and I know, and we did it. We nickeled and dimed it together, and which is probably the hardest way. But you have creative control by doing that.
Exactly. And, I really think that God used developing me in the rodeo world. Yes, I was able to win a world championship, but everything that I learned from point A to point B to this point in my life has been useful skills that I believe he's going to use in a lot of ways down the road. And so really have some producer type personality in me, and I've been able to network with people, friends, corporate sponsors and partners and people like that, and we're still looking for people to help us, because right now in our culture, in our society, the window is wide open for movies that have a message and a light, and the American cowboy stand in for what he stands for. So we've not only talked about producing, we've gone one step farther and ended up on a destination with a cowboy network. I'm not able to talk too much about it now, but when we film these movies and we work with others, they're going to go to a place that will honor those who have gone before us and those that are coming down the road now.
Well, I had talked to Mary Faye Jackson. You know Mary Faye?
Just got done off talking to her on the phone today. Exactly.
Mary Faye was telling me about someone with the Cowboy Network. Is that you?
Well, there's a couple out there. We and sometimes the final destination in the placing these movies, you know, and different programming, they will make different choices. Some want to go on internet, some want to go to satellite television. We're going to be kind of a combination of both. So yes, we're aware of our other friends and support their works as well.
Right.
But the network we're working on is a pretty massive undertaking.
Wonderful, wonderful. Because we're on a brand new network with pay-per-view.
Wow, that's exciting.
And which is really awesome, because we're going to be reaching a lot of people. And it's great that you can be here so we can let people know. You got a website. I need to know.
Yeah, you can actually go to www.Western Harvest Ministries or Western Harvest Media and learn a little bit more about what we're doing.
All right. And so you are writing these scripts with your writing partner, or?
Well, I've got a big guy you're going to meet here in a minute, a good friend of mine that does a lot of the directing and the scripts. We've got a wrangler down in Austin. Really, those guys with 70 years in the industry between the two of them are going to do a lot of the production. My job is opening out the door. I've done some acting. We've got some scripts that I'm actually acting in as well. But it's a combination of a bunch of guys working together with one common goal, and that's to make films that is going to minister to the family and
so
get the
these
message
are
out.
Christian movies. These are Christian. It's just like the I want to say the minister. I cannot believe I can't think of his name. But there is a minister who produced a lot of films, and I'll get his name as soon as this interview is over with, folks. But it's with a lot of. I used to see him when I was a kid.
You're probably thinking of Kenneth Copeland and Willie George.
Well, I know about Kenneth Copeland,
Exactly.
Exactly. Willie George, I don't know,
Right.
but I do know about him. Yeah. I'll tell you what we'll do. Why don't we take a quick break on Crossroads, and we'll be right back.
Over 20 years, I've been interviewing the cowboy stars of film and television. Now I'd like to share what I've learned with you. Not just the easily researched information, but the true stories behind the films and the stars. My audiobook, Golden Nuggets Along the Old Hollywood Trail, lets you in on little-known facts, trivia, and stories of the Western stars and films from the beginning to today. If you're a fan of the Western genre, I'd love to share my stories with you, and here's how.
All right, and welcome back to Crossroads Live. I wanted to talk a little bit about the movies. I remember when I was a kid, and Billy Graham was a big sponsor. He was behind a lot of Christian-style movies that were made. I'm not sure what we call in that, Christian-type movies or style, and which is, I used to go see those when I was a kid, you know, and I always loved them. I always thought they were good. I remember Roy Rogers was a big part of that. And he helped out with Billy Graham in his crusade, and was of course, people like Roy Rogers and Gene Autry. They were a big influence on my life, you know, as a kid, you know. So.
Well, that goes back to the reason why we believed in our heart with my family and our friends in the media production company is that it helps to shape a culture without a doubt. And you know, the stuff that we're seeing today really doesn't have a lot of character. Value and things that kind of build you up. You don't know who's going to win and the right side and the wrong side of it. But yeah, through movie production, we believe that the media is really a great way to reach both the youth and the family.
Yeah.
And in 1997, when I won the World Championship, Billy Graham's Evangelistic Association sent me a copy of screening for the movie The Ride. It was a great film. A lot of the guys that I competed with, the wardrobes and some of the little things about it were not authentic. And so we really want to stand on producing authentic films that are going to be relative to these young men, that are in their lifestyle today in rodeo.
Well, 'cause I have a friend of mine who is cousin to Lane Frost. He spent an hour on the phone with me one time telling me all the things that weren't true in that movie, And so you got to look at, and he was talking about things like the relationship between Lane and his father, and they talked about that. And my friend Larry told me, he said, not true. He said they had a wonderful relationship. So I don't know. They said Hollywood took liberties with, there.
Yeah, I'm real good friends with Lane Frost's mom and dad, Clyde and Elsie Frost, and they've been in some interviews with me in the past. We still help. They have a Bible that we distribute through our ministry that has Lane's picture on it. So his legacy continues. He was my role model, but you're exactly right. They wanted to make sure that they portrayed the real Lane Frost, and what happened is there was a producer change and a director change, and they had a little bit different view of where the movie was going. And those are the types of things that I think that we can fix with good people working on the types of films that we're going to be producing.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's great, as long as you have creative control. But if you're writing scripts, I always want to leave you with this one thought. I call it rewriting. Because when I write a movie, I'm rewriting and rewriting and rewriting because of cast change, or you're writing for a certain personality or trying to do that. And so now you have lessons in writing, folks.
Well, I appreciate the wisdom. And I just want to kind of interject this here. It's important that, as we're making these movies, they are family films. But we just really believe with our ministry as well as our media company that we need to lead by example. And so what's happened is when you see a Christian film and it's labeled that way, is you get kind of maybe some corny or cheesy actors and a low budget, and the message is great, but it's just doesn't come across the screen with the right influence. And so what we want to do is make sure that guys that know how to ride horses, the guys that need to take acting classes, take acting classes, and just really make a movie that's going to grip the heart by great content and good exposure and good action in that film.
Very good.
And that'll speak for itself.
Because I know that I've known a lot of folks who want to become actors, right? And, you can teach people to act, but you can't always teach people to live in the moment. And when you're on film playing a character, try to live within that moment. And so now you're getting acting lessons, ladies and gentlemen. But I wanted to tell you a quick story, Donnie Gay story.
Okay.
I used to work security, actually, at the airport. And Donnie come in there all the time, catching a plane, going somewhere. And so he came in, and they were selling tapes with him, and they were playing them in this one store of Donnie Gay, in the rodeo. And so I was on one of those carts, and I drove by, and I said, Donnie, they're showing one of your tapes in there. He looked at me, he said, was I eating dirt? And so I stole that line from him, actually, and I used it in the script where the guy walked in and said, hey, man, I saw you on TV the other night, and I said, was I eating dirt? So I stole that from Donnie Gay. So anyway, listen.
Well, the good thing is Donnie's got a whole bunch of them, so he won't run out of lines.
Anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to be with me, man. I appreciate it. And good luck with your films.
Yes.
And good luck with the children, helping them.
Thank you very much. And thank you for your show and your sponsors and everybody that will be reached by this broadcast.
Oh, I'm sure they will. And the thing about it is, I believe in what you believe in. So,
me too. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
God bless.